To do. And I have one more before I start the conversation back up with me that I definitely need to share because I was touched at the youth violence prevention opportunity I had the other day to sit in, with various individuals of magnitude, in the society. And the babies that was there and stayed there even though it went late. It was a blessing. And for them, I share this more so than for myself because I know it's some things that some of them need to hear. And it's only meant for some of us when we speak into existence for people to hear it from us that God got it set up like that for it to click in somewhere in that or the seed to get started, to grow. And this one is called I'm Still Standing. 6 months into my mother's womb, she was rescued out of our burning house, left to suffer from severe smoke inhalation. I'm still standing. 3 months later, the man-child was born in the holy city of Chicago's West Side Mary Thompson Hospital. At the time, newborn babies were coming up missing. I'm still standing. Leaving the hospital with my mother to begin the fight for my life among the gang-riddled battlefield in Chicago's infamous West Side Henry Hornet projects. I'm still standing. 1 to 2 years old, while with my uncle driving on the highway, as my mother held me in her arms, a sudden horrible crash of cars takes place, shattering the front windshield, ejecting me out of my mother's arms onto the hood of the car to lie in shattered glass, heavily wrapped in my grandmother's baby blankets. I'm still standing. That's what it does, right? 2 to 3.5 years old, my then entrusted babysitters, instead of putting milk in my baby bottle, used pink and golden champagne instead. My introduction to alcohol. I'm still standing. 3.5 to 5 years old, my then female babysitters played the doctor, while all the little girls sitting played the nurses, using me, the only boy in the house, for their patient. Did whatever they wanted with me sexually, so I've never had virginity. But I'm still standing. 6 years old, playing in my stepfather's car with his keys in the ignition. As the car sat on the top of a steep hill, it begins to roll down the hill, dragging my stepfather, almost killing him while trying to save me. I'm still standing. 7 years old, spending the night over at my grandma's house. In the early morning, I was playing on the back porch, surrounded by a bunch of newspapers. Found a lighter, lit some of the papers on fire. Then set the back porch up in flames. Scared, I jumped in the bed trying to play sleep. Now almost killing myself, mother, sisters, the family dog, and my stepfather once again beating me. I'm still standing. 8 years old, I trying to hang with several of my older cousins who were doing flips off the top of a flathead garage, down onto old thrown away mattresses, moved the mattresses to the other end. As I went to flip off the garage, smacking the concrete below, busting my head wide open instead. I'm still standing. That's what it do. 9 years old, I smoked my first cigarette, smoked my first joint, took my first sniff of powder, never to be the same again. I'm still standing. 10 years old, smoked some sherm, inhaling bombing fluid. Woke up the next day in my bed naked, mouth full of bread, pitcher of milk on the table, fan blowing on me. I was told that I almost OD'd. I'm still standing. 11 years old, I failed the 6th grade twice. Was placed in the slow learners class, sent to and seen for psychological assessments and evaluations and testing from then on. I'm still standing. 12 years old, my pimpin' uncle introduced me to what a hoe was. He left me in the room with 2 of his hoes, who together sexually taught me the do's and don'ts of their profession. I'm still standing. 13 years old, putting in work representing Chicago's almighty vice lord nation. Campaigning what you ride, what set you claim. Fighting, robbing, ditching school, hustling on the L train. I'm still standing. At 14 years old, I graduated the 8th grade with no honors, last in my class. The same day I was caught off my set by the enemy, who beat me severely, leaving me for dead with a broken leg. I'm still standing. 15 years old, wintertime in Chicago. During a gang fight, I was pushed on a sheet of ice, falling backward, hitting the back of my head, knocking me unconscious. I'm still standing. 16 years old, I was expelled from high school, sent to reform school. First day there, I was stabbed in the bathroom. I'm still standing. 17 years old, on the track with my first hoe, pushing rocks out the hole. I cut out of the back door. Out of control, smoking primos, gun holstered on each side for my foes. With no respect for the law nor po-po, I'm still standing. 18 to 19 years old, fugitive one south of my arrest, bring a man dead or alive, the po request. In front of over 50 soldiers I state, coppers won't take me alive, I ride or die to the death. We all threw up the VL hand sign with our hats turned to the left. I'm still standing. 19 years old, caught by the enemy again. Be so close to death I thought my end. They then shot me to make sure I was dead. While looking down at me, laughing from the blood I bled. I'm still standing. 4 months before my 20th birthday, I am now in police custody, who wanted nothing more than to kill me when they caught me. I was smart enough not to resist, knowing they would have shot me. I'm still standing. 20 years old, I now stood before the judge who said to me, "You're going to prison, son. Been nothing but a menace out here on my streets. I sentence you to 3 years day for day with no good time, along with this 8 to 25 years in the state penitentiary." I'm still standing. 20 years old, my introduction to prison, wasted no time, beating my cellmate up for putting his hands on my stuff without permission. Placed in solitary confinement for 6 months was the decision. Beat up routinely from the guards, nigger-hating racism. I'm still standing. My story continues. I will only go on if it interests you. If not, to all I thank for reading this or listening to, I'm still standing.